Hello and welcome to this video tutorial about my Zerker build as a necromancer. This build was used in the video I will link below. During this video I also ran an hybrid build that I will describe in another video. So I don't put any traits, so there is no disturbance with the cooldown or the power or whatever. Looking at the direct damage weapon for main hand, we have basically two choices, axe or dagger. The axe auto attack is doing really low damage, but apply vulnerability, which is always useful when you are hitting your foe with direct damage. The second ability is a really nice life force generator, and it's hitting like a truck. On a 8 second base reload time, it's something you can almost use in every time you get out of your dash route, and you will see in the DPS rotation that it's fitting perfectly. The only issue with this skill is that you need to keep your foe in front of you, so that's where the third ability came handy with the creeper. In addition to remove boons when you hit your target, it also gives you retaliation. As you may guess, we will have a lot of power in this build, so the retaliation is going to hit hard, and stripper boons is always useful as so many people run a lot of boons. After all, the damage are good and the creeper help you to face your foe. The second direct damage weapon is the dagger. The reason why I'm not running the dagger is the range of the auto attack. Here we see only one of the chain attacks, so I will show you it from my abilities bar, where the damage are changed by my statistics, so just keep in mind they are a bit higher than from the other panel. Anyway, we see that the life force is coming from the second and the third attack from the auto attack, so it's hitting really hard. But you have to be in range, and I found out that in real combat situation I had such a bad time trying to keep my foe in range, or I was losing the trade because he was hitting me with a greatsword, and I really look forward to see any necro with the same build than a warrior bypass the damage from a 100 blade warrior just by using the auto attack. So yeah, anyway, the auto attack is good because it's hitting really hard, but you have such a bad time keeping in range that I was much more efficient, and I even win DPS by using the axe. Going on with the second ability, the life siphon is good as it gives you health and it's doing okay damage. However, the health is not really what I was looking for in the build. In fact, I'm looking more on life force generation that is really insane with the second axe ability, while this dagger ability gives me health, so I'm not really winning the trade. In addition, this is a longer channeling and a longer reload, so after all I found the life siphon lacking in comparison to the ghastly claws. Just a little note, the life siphon can be channeled even if your foe is behind you. I mean, you have to have your foe in front of you when you start this ability, but after it you can just go through your enemy and keep channeling it even if it's behind you, while you can't do it with the axe second ability. That's just a side note. So, third ability with the dagger, Dark Pact. It's really nice as it's immobilizing your foe and it's doing okay damage. However, the 25-second reload is quite a lot, and when you are struggling to hit your foe with the auto attack, as it's a really close combat attack, you tend to use it to throw all your DPS at once, like Dark Pact, auto attack with the Well of Suffering, and if your enemy just can get the hell out of here, you lost most of your DPS, and then you are having such a bad time, as I said before, to just generate life force on the second and third ability. So here again, if I compare to the third ability with the axe, I prefer to strip a boons, gain retaliation and cripple my foe, as I can also use this ability even if I'm running away or going on my foe. It's also a really nice stealth detector, as you can just throw it in the air and see if you have the retaliation. That means the stealther is really close to you. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I had to say about the dagger. The auto attack don't make me feel any stronger than using an axe. So after all, I decided to just run 2 hacks on my main hand for the both weapon swap. Then we can have a look at the offhand weapon. Some people may run a dagger, as you can give away, kind of give away your condition and blind your enemy in addition to the weakness. However, if we look at the damage, we see that most of the damage is based on the bleeding from the 5th ability, and here from the condition you give back to your enemy. In addition, this won't work very well if you have only one enemy, as it won't bounce with anybody. And the weakness is nice, as you will take less damage and reduce the number of dodge your enemy can do, but I won't make a long story about it. I just consider this as more of a combi based weapon. So going down, I see the focus. The focus is a really nice direct damage weapon. In fact, it's doing good damage. It can bounce in between you and your foe, or in between any ally, or in between 2 enemies. Anyway, it's giving you a lot of life force, up to 15%, stacking a lot of vulnerability on your foe, up to 12, and it's 900 range. Just a side note on this ability, the 900 range is not that much of a truth. I mean, if you throw it at 900 range, you will see that if nothing is there to bounce in the 600 range from your foe, you will only apply 4 vulnerability and earn 3% life force. So the axe came handy again, as you will see this little red bar under my ability get away as soon as I'm under the 600 range. So then I know that I can use the Reaper's Touch as its full efficiency. Finally, the Spinal Shivers. It's stripping up to 3 boons and doing more damage for each boon you are stripping. I already noticed that you have to face your foe, at least you are really happy to slow him because of the burst kill with the axe, the second ability, when you have to face your foe, and the life blast when you have to face your foe as well. So shield your enemy is one of the best way to slow him down. It's after the immobilize, of course. So anyway, it's one of the best way to slow your enemy, and it's also hitting really hard if your enemy have a lot of boons. It's really useful when you can strip, for instance, a retaliation, which will hit you back for something like 2000 while you are using your second axe ability, or rip a stability before you go to use your doom in the shroud, or you know, your flesh golem charge. There is many uses, and it's up to you to decide which boon you want to strip and which you don't want to strip. But again, this made of the focus a really good direct damage weapon. Then we have the Warhorn. The Well of Doom make me change the figure of a fight so many times that I stopped counting. In fact, it's unblockable, and it daze your foe for 2 second base. So when you see someone blocking your attack, you can daze him. When you see someone going to do something you don't want to take, you can also try to daze or daze the heal. There is many usage, and as you can see in the video I linked below, the first fight against the thief, as soon as I see the blinding powder, I know that he was going to do a Heart Seeker, so I instantly press the Well of Doom ability to daze him before he finishes Heart Seeker. Hopefully it worked, and then the thief was just dead for sure. Last ability with the Warhorn is Locust Swarm. It's also a really nice ability, mostly if you are looking for roaming. In fact, you will need the swiftness. most of the time you will use it just to move faster, and if you aren't, you will like it while you are in fight to just keep the range in between you and your enemy, because most roaming people are using swiftness, or to go faster and just go in range to use your spinach shivers. Anyway, it's really useful to have the swiftness, and the cripple, which is ticking every second. As his base is 2 seconds, you will stack cripple on your enemy. That will help you quite a lot to keep him in range, even if it's for you to stay far enough, or if just to evade him from running away. It's really nice. Last but not least, the life force generation, which is really insane as soon as there is many enemy in front of you. Even if it's just one guy, you will pop your Locust Swarm and generate life force, which is something we really look forward to, as the focus grant you life force, the fact that the Warhound also grant you life force is quite convenient, because you don't have much of already better weapon sets than the other. Both give you pretty much the same thing in terms of life force, and have ability to annoy your foe, I would say. So that's it for the weapon choice. Looking at the utilities, we have Consume Condition. Consume Condition is, in my opinion, the best heal we can have for roaming. In fact, you don't have any tools with your weapon to get rid of the condition. So Consume Condition will do this quite nicely for you, as it will provide extra life. And yeah, in comparison to other skill, I don't find anything better. Let's move on to the Well of Suffering, which is somehow what is epidemic for a Condi build. It's unblockable, doing insane damage, and applying vulnerability. Then we try to make it synergize with the Spectral Grasp. In fact, you don't have the dagger, so you won't be able to immobilize your foe. Maybe you can use your Dark Pass and then pop your well, however your enemy will quickly get out of the well, so the Spectral Grasp is coming really handy. You have to get used to it, as you may have some issue using it in open world, but as soon as you know exactly when it will fail, you can pretty much don't miss it anymore. And what's interesting is, in comparison to the Dark Pass, is because it's pulling your foe, the foe will get knocked down kind of 1 second or 1 second and a half. So in addition to the huge amount of life force and the shields that apply to your foe, it will really help you to have more efficiency on your Well of Suffering. Third ability is a Flesh Worm. Something I don't see that often in the Necromancer abilities bar, because most people don't really know where you can put the Flesh Worm to evade fight, or they don't really like this ability as it's a really long cast time. I do agree that it's a bit too long in my opinion, however it's really the best way I found to evade a fight if you are in the right place, by just going up a hill, or you know, disappearing, because people don't know that you are using the Flesh Worm, so they just see you disappear and they're like, what the heck, it's a Necromancer, where is he gone? Okay, I just give up. So anyway, it's a really nice ability, as it gives you 10% life force and it's a breakstone, so it can help you just to breakstone and use one of your Deshroud ability, as it's giving you 10% life force again, so it will just give you enough to pop your shroud, and it's doing good damage if it's in range to auto attack. So a quite nice ability that sometimes can be used also as a gap closer, but you have to be extra careful as you will lose your breakstone. Finally, the Elite skin. Some people may have like the leash form, however it's a 1 second cast time that if it's cancelled, or if you get ripped while you are channeling it, then you will go on full cooldown. So that's first and foremost a really buggy ability. Then we also have the fact that with the Flesh Worm, if I pop my leash form, my Flesh Worm will go on full cooldown, which is a bit sad as it's my only escape. In addition, you don't have any toughness, so you are mostly a giant target that's hitting really hard, so you get focus and just dead almost instantly. You even don't see, let's say, your foe, because if it's a tiny Azura, then you just don't see it anymore. You are like hitting something, you don't see what he's doing, you don't have cast bar, so it's quite hard to use. Anyway, the Flesh Golem is, in my opinion, much better, as he will knock back your foe. Most of the time he just knock down your foe, which is better, as we will look forward to use it in synergy with the Well of Suffering. The issue with this skill is the AI. In fact, most of the time in the video I'll link below, you can see that the Flesh Golem is not even hitting my foe, so I don't have the creeper, and I'm losing quite a huge amount of DPS because it's hitting so fucking hard. So just use it for the charge in synergy to the well, and if you get lucky you will also have a good extra DPS from this ability. Finally, just a note for group setup, I recommend you go for Plague, as your Flesh Golem will mostly get instantly killed, and most people won't get the knockback effect, as they will likely have a stability. So the Plague is really nice, as you can stomp, and you can also just apply poison, being extra tanky on your enemy and face tanking any AoEs that are thrown on them, in addition to the poison, which will slow quite a lot the resurrection. And you can also blind your enemy, so if there is, let's say, a guardian and stuff like that, they won't be able to bump everybody out. So yeah, just after all, a really nice ability for group setup. So now let's move on to the trait. I run 20-20-00-30. I picked Life Blast, Grant Might. So the name of the trait is Reaper's Might. The reason behind that is, as I stated before, I will have most of my damage output from the GW2. So this is a must-have ability while you are using your GW2 ability to do damage. Secondly, I run Axe Training. The reason behind that is quite simple. I have Axe in my 2-weapon set, so what else than Axe Training? In addition, Nemesis made quite a good point with the Shroud ability, which also benefit from the 10% damage increase. Then some people would have liked to see Close to Death. However, I decided to do it a bit differently, as I found these minor traits really useless, and I was really looking for this other minor trait which give me fury when I go to the shroud. Anyway, going on, I took Reaper's Precision, as I was solo roaming. As soon as I'm in a little group, I will more likely take the focus rituals, as you don't really want to go in the middle of the fight. You prefer to stay a bit in range and be zoning around your enemy and just pop your well where your heavy armored class are. So for solo roaming this is really nice, as you will have quite a high critical chance. So with the Locust Swarm it will give you quite often life force, and otherwise with the transfusion, and yeah, after all it's a really good trait. Then the Fury, of course, is the reason why I don't put the 30 points there, and I wasn't looking to take the 25 here as well in spite, so I just go up to 20, where I took Banshee as well. I know most people don't like this trait, however, as I'm running a Warhorn in my set, and as you can see it's getting the days up to 3 seconds, and more importantly it's giving me 15 seconds swiftness and 24 second reload time, which is more than 50%, and increase also the creeper duration to 3.5 seconds from 2 seconds. So that's a really nice trait to have. Maybe I'm screwed because now I pretty much don't have this trait as soon as I'm using a Warhorn, as I'm getting used to have those reload time and those efficiency and those spells. There is a little mix, I come back to it just after I finish the description of this build. looking at soul reaping, the life blast pierce and cause vulnerability. It's just a mandatory trait as soon as you are facing class like Mesmer and Rangers, as they may have a clone which will stop your life blast if it's be in between you and your enemy. Sadly, if the clone have Aegis, your life blast won't pierce anyway, but it's synergized very well with the life blast Grand Might. So just take this trait, and then near to death, as I said before, I took this 15 minor traits, and all my stats and gear are based on the fact that I can have Fury on my T-Shroud. So I was really looking to have something to have a better Fury uptime. So near to death is just the best way to have it. It's like, it's a bit buggy as it says 30% and actually it's 40% reduction. So you have if you just flash your D-Shroud, you have only 1 second in between the end of your Fury and the next time you can go to D-Shroud. So it's a really nice buff to have. Then the Strand of Death, just a little note about it. This is a bit buggy from the last test I ran. Instead of giving you 5% damage increase as soon as you have over 50% life force, it's giving you a percent of damage according to the amount of life force you have. So if for instance I have 60% life force, I won't have the 5% increase, but I will have, let's say, 3% increase, and then if I go up to the 100%, I will have the 5% increase. It's nice to know that this won't change until you get out of the fight or you use a transformation which isn't D-Shroud. So if you use Plague or Leash Form, then you can reset this value to, let's say, his maximum. If you have 100% D-Shroud and you pop your Leash, and then when you get out you have the 5% increase until the end of the fight. However, if you start the fight with no life force, then you won't have any benefit from this minor trait. It's a bit sad, it's just a sign note, so now you know what it is really doing. And finally, the Death Perception, which is a must-have trait, as you could have run stability that I did sometimes when I was in a group setup and I was really needing a stability. However, my DPS was really badly hurt by the switch between 50% crit chance to stability, of course. So the little change you can do, as I know most people won't be happy to run a flesh worm, is you can either go to spectral attunement, and here if you are not looking to have the unyielding blast that I strongly recommend, you can either go to the vital persistence, whether or not you go with spectral attunement, of course. It just, since it's buff, it's really good trait. Or otherwise, the mix I used sometimes was spectral mastery, and then I slot there like the spectral walk or the spectral armor. Mostly the spectral walk, as 12 second swiftness, 12 seconds recall ability is a really huge gap creator, and it's giving you a lot of life force, and the spectral grass will give you such a huge amount of life force, so it's really nice. Anyway, I will stick to my build, which is using Banshee's Well and Unyielding Blast. Let's move on to the gear. I have Knight Armor with Collar Runes, except for the coat, which is a Berserker coat with Collar Rune as well, and the weapon are Berserker weapon for all of them, with on my offhand 5% damage increase, and for the main hand 30% chance to trigger a Flame Blast. It's really nice as you are using Life Blast and sometimes you are hitting from far away, so the Flame Blast on your foe is really useful. as your attack are pacing, you will try to manage to hit 2 to 3, 4, and it's also working well with the Well of Suffering. So after all, I've found this sigil to be the best I can slot. Moving on to the trinkets, for the backpack, the necklace and the 2 rings, I run with Cavalier stats, with infusion in power, toughness, precision and toughness. Why is that precision? Because I was needing it as I have only exotic weapon to get the cap of 1475 to get the 31% crit chance. Anyway, earring, I slotted Valkyrie earring with Exquisite Beryl Jewel as I wasn't looking for any more precision, neither than toughness. So I was just wanting power and crit. So anyway, I was looking to have that 31% crit chance, which is what I need exactly. I have 2448 armor. I was looking to have 450, but I wasn't able to find those 2 points anywhere, and I think there is no change in between 48 and 50. It's anyway 25% damage reduction, so that worked for me. Then I have 3000 power, 137. This is quite a lot, and this is without the food and the stack of bloodlust. Then I have 95% crit damage and up to 105 when I have my food. So why is that important while I have only 31% crit chance? It's rare the Fury goes in and synergizes so well with the build. As soon as I'm in Death Shroud, I have Fury, which make me go to 51% crit chance. In addition to that, I have a trait which give me 50% crit chance while I'm in Death Shroud. So the math are quite simple. 51 with the Fury, more 50 from the Death Shroud, you go to 101, which is exactly the cap you need to go to have 100% chance to do a critical hit. So that was exactly what I was needing. So about the DPS rotation, I will show you some footage of what I'm doing. If it's the perfect fight, you will be able to go Locust Swarm to chase your enemy, then cast a Spinach Shivers, a Reaper Sturge because it will be slower and you faster, then use your burst skill with the axe, pop your well, maybe your grab, maybe your charge, and then you just go Life Blast. I forgot the fear, but yeah, that's fine anyway. And that's it. I mean, you saw what is done on Horizon, even if I hit half of my combo. Anyway, the important point is, when you go into Death Shroud, pop your Tintin Checker at start, because if you wait until you throw Life Blast, for instance, then the explosion of your Tintin Checker, which is doing pretty much the same damage that the enemy feels, will not trigger on the Fury, so you have less chance to do critic. So it's better to use it at start, even if it's not the first time you're going to Death Shroud. Just Tintin Checker Transfusion or Tintin Checker on whatever is the spell you want to use after it. Just at start is better. As soon as you go into Death Shroud, you can use 4 Life Blast and then use your burst skill again. I mean, you use a burst skill, go into Death Shroud, use up to 4 Life Blast, and you can get out and use your burst skill again. So you see, it's kind of efficient. Even if the last Life Blast is not absolutely sure to critic, you lose less DPS to have no critic on the last Life Blast than using your auto attack. I would have liked to do the DPS rotation on the Horizon, which is somewhere around there, but he's immune to the pool, so I will just show you what it is on this enemy. So you pop your well, you grab him, then you charge, and as soon as you charge, you can go to Death Shroud and Life Blast while you are using the fear. It requires a bit of practice to know exactly when you can throw the fear to just don't break the knockdown effect from the Flesh Golem. So that's why I just use the dark pass, as it's in close combat, it will instantly pop, shield again your enemy, so it's going up for quite a lot of shield duration, and then fear. Well, that's much more work than I was expecting. I start to understand why Nemesis is a bit tired after those kind of video. After all, I really hope this video will be helpful, and I wish you a really good time on your roaming session, or even if you are doing PvE, that's fine. Bye bye!